It's been a while since I've talked about a fan game on this channel, so to start off the new year, I might as well talk about one of the well-received ones, Sonic Galactic. Now, for some reason, I've put off playing it or just talking about it in general, and I don't know why. But yesterday, Star Team, the creators of Sonic Galactic, dropped their newest demo on the first day of the new year. So I finally decided to give it a try. And believe me when I tell you, I have never been left speechless after playing a 2D Sonic game. If you told me that this was Sonic Mania 2, I would believe you. The quality of this fan game is professional. This is professional quality. And I was so impressed that I wanted to make a video on this. So let's start off the new year by talking about Sonic Galactic's new demo. So to start off, let's go over the basics, right? What is Sonic Galactic? Well, Sonic Galactic is made to be a what-if scenario if Sonic Team ever made a 2D Sonic game for the SEGA Saturn. And the style is there. There's so many references that I'm going to point out later as we go along that almost match the amount that I've seen in Sonic Overture. And if you guys know, Sonic Overture is like one of my favorite 2D fan games. The art style and animations are so beautiful. Every character in every level is just spewing with this lively energy that I think classic Sonic needs more of, and it's just amazing to see it in action. And what's crazy about this fan game is that it starts off with 5 unique playable characters with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Knack the Weasel, and Tunnel the Mole, a completely new Sonic character that is completely original to this game as a fan creation. But the design of the character is so well done that it feels official. And each character has their own moveset, with classic characters getting some new additions. Sonic having his classic drop dash, spin dash, and the new wall dash that allows him to spin dash up a wall and jump off it to gain more height, which is like so ingenious. I don't know why they haven't done it yet. Tails is more or less the same, with a new addition of being able to spin out of his fly, so that he doesn't just drop on the floor without being protected, but that's really it. Knack the Weasel uses his gun to shoot himself into the air, and the more you charge it, the further he shoots up, and his gun can even destroy enemies on the ground. And Tunnel the Mole probably has one of the cooler ones where he can dig into the ground, launch out of it, and go extremely high. And sometimes, in some cases, he can either bounce off of a wall if it's slanted too much, or if you hit another wall, he digs into that one, and then you can like chain reaction to launch off of that wall to get even higher. But by far, my favorite character is Knuckles, all because of one change. Knuckles carries all of his momentum when he goes into a glide, and what I mean by this is, let's say you spin dash. In a normal Sonic game like Sonic 3 or Sonic whatever, if Knuckles goes into a glide, he would revert back to his slowest momentum in his glide and then slowly pick up speed. But in Sonic Galactic, depending on how fast you're going before you glide, you would keep that speed. So Knuckles can go from a spin dash to a glide and keeping that speed, and that completely changes how he plays. I just think the flow of Knuckles is so good in this game. He's probably going to be my preferred way to play the game. And from all of these characters, the big thing and gimmick of this game is verticality. A lot of these characters' gimmicks have to do with moving up the stage. Sonic has this wall dash, Tails flying obviously, Knuckles is climbing and gliding, Knack's gun that shoots him up, and the Mole, which just lets him shoot up in the air. All of these characters' specialties are in going up the stage, and because of that, the level design is way more vertical. And I prefer this type of level design because it reminds me a bit more of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and a little bit of Sonic CD as well. I think this game does Sonic CD and Sonic 3 and Knuckles kind of a combination where these levels are super massive and vertical, but you still have that really nice sense of flow. And I think that this game masters it, especially with all the ways that the characters can move. And I think that's just a testament to how good the level design is as well. They had to make these levels not just to play for one character, not 3, but 5 different characters that all have different movesets, and they had to make them all fun. And I'm genuinely impressed that they were able to do that so well in this game. You'll never find a place where you can only get here with Knuckles or Sonic or Knack. If your character can go up a wall, you could probably go up there too. No character is limited, and I feel like this game gives you the most freedom out of any classic Sonic game I've ever played personally. And I think that has to do, 1, with the controls, and 2, again, with the level design. And I truly don't think there is a bad level in this game. Sure, there's like one level that I maybe don't prefer as much as the other, but every every level in this game is so well designed that I'm really not feeling like, oh, this level again. I'm excited to play every level. The level design has this really nice sense of flow, almost akin to Sonic Mania, where you're constantly moving forward at such crazy speeds, but at the same time, the verticality and openness of the level is something akin to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I think that is the perfect balance and something that I wish Sonic Mania did. I feel like Sonic Mania leaned way too into Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where you have these super fast levels, but they kind of lacked the verticality and exploration that I kind of wanted in a Sonic game for a lot of the levels. But here, you have that exploration, you have that freedom to do whatever you want. It just takes everything that works about classic Sonic level design and just perfects it. My standout level has to be the Luminoucity Zone, because I had no idea this level was in the game. I thought it was just the first 2 acts, but when I got to that level, my jaw was on the floor. And I've never felt that with a classic Sonic game. The level was so beautiful. The references to the Saturn games and Saturn just in general is all over the place. Like, you can see the Saturn logo as a light post in the boss fight arena. You can see the Nights into Dreams and the Restar references in the audience. This whole level just breathes personality. You can see advertisements here and there. It's like this game's version of Studiopolis. Oh, I just love it even more, man. Besides the Saturn references, you have these speedometers that check your speed in real time in the game. You have these paths that are kind of similar to those ring things from Death Egg Zone from Sonic 3 that take Sonic on this path, and it's so cool, man. And what I think this level does the best, it just feels alive. You have these advertisements for Chaos Soda, you have all these shops that are bright up and animating in your face, the city is alive, and the whole level just feels so claustrophobic, but in a good way. It feels like you're just this small guy running through this bustling city, and I think the best way that it does it is with this character. It's an original character that I'm not sure what its name is, but it's this new robot. And throughout this whole level, it's almost like it's trying to race you to the end of the level. And the design of it is just so cool. It breathes the 90s. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the haircut, but it's just so charming, man. And as much as I love this level, the other 2 here are still phenomenal. We have Verdant Island, which starts off really dull and pale, but as you go through, the sun comes out and it becomes super vibrant and blue and amazing. And then you have Coral Garden, which the first act is completely underwater. There's not a moment where you're not. But when you get to Act 2 and you finally get out, it feels so much more rewarding here. And just the look of the level is also like a close second to Luminoucity Zone. The water temple vibe is so beautiful. I don't know what it is about ancient ruins, but I just love that vibe so much, and it's just here in tenfold. And I have to talk about the music. The music here is also fantastic. I mean, it's a requirement. If you're making a Sonic game in general, the music has to be good, and here it is no exception. Fantastic work. But the Saturn love does not stop here, because we also have special stages. And as a person who loves to research this type of crap, I noticed it immediately that these look similar to some of the Sonic Extreme concept art. Now, if a developer's watching this video, please let me know if this was an inspiration, because if it is, I'm gonna tweak. And also, the second one, where it's the one at the goalpost, where you just get some items, this also, I believe, is a concept art from not Sonic Extreme, but Sonic Mars, where Sonic is like running around these like grid platforms. If that's true, and these are actually inspired by those unused Sonic games, that just further adds to that Saturn feeling. And really quick, we could talk about the story, because it's nothing crazy, but it's a nice setup for the plot. It looks like Eggman is back again, and he's sending not just his robot army, but the hard-boiled heavies are back, and they're all invading this whole island. And what's cool about this game is that depending on who you start with, the intro of the game is different. If you start with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, or Knack, you all start flying into this island and running through the entirety of Eggman's army. But if you start with Tunnel, you start more similar to how actually Knuckles starts his story in Sonic 3, just chilling on this island, when all of a sudden these robots just invade the island, and he ends up meeting with Sonic and gang to take down Eggman. And speaking of the cutscenes, they're so well animated here. They're not too much where it just tells you the story, but it's enough to give you a gist of what's going on so that you can fill in the blanks and kind of just piece together what is going on. And the animation in general is just amazing throughout the whole game. And as you go to the next zone, what I really like about it is it's not just like a cutscene to the next zone. You kind of have to walk yourself to the next zone, if you know what I'm saying. It gives more interactivity to going to the next level, and I feel like that brings the whole world a bit more together. Like at the end of Verdan's Isle, you go to the gateway of Coral Garden, and before you get to that top path, you're blown up, and then you're sent to the bottom, which starts Act 1, which is so cool, and it does this for every stage. And that extra world building just adds to the quality of the whole game. Now, I know I've just been sucking this game off the whole video, but it's not perfect. This game has a lot of issues, and I'd like to point them out here. First of all, the stability. This game is kind of buggy. There's a lot of moments where the game just like breaks. I clip through a wall. The stability of the game in general is kind of iffy. Like in the normal game, it's pretty good, but then when I get to like a special stage, especially in that 3D one, it chugs a lot when there's a lot of things on screen, and I think some stuff like that needs to be fixed. Another thing, and it's something that I find kind of weird, is that they added a button for Sonic using his elemental shields. So now an issue that's been fixed is from past games, if you had an elemental shield, you couldn't use an ability like the insta shield or the drop dash. But now they added a separate button, so now you can do both with Sonic. But for some reason, that doesn't apply to all the other characters. Like if I try to use it with Tails, that button still acts as a fly button. I can't use the dash forward or the lightning bounce if I have a lightning shield. And I find that so counterintuitive. Why would you make that a thing for Sonic that's fixing an issue, but then when you have it with the other characters, it's just, oh wait, we still have to treat it like a classic game. I don't know. I think that's kind of stupid and redundant. And this one's just a personal thing I'm not really a fan of. I don't really like the bosses. I mean, in the classic games, a lot of the bosses aren't that great, so I'm not gonna hold it against them. But for me, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 good bosses. Like I think a standout boss for me is the one in Luminoucity Zone. That's actually pretty fun. But like the crab one, I find extremely annoying. The Eggman one, where it's like the light beetle from Stardust Speedway, I don't think that's really fun. I think it's kind of annoying, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It still clears half of Superstar's bosses, but I'm just not a big fan of the boss fights in this game. They're not my cup of tea. If you told me this game was an official Sonic game, I would believe you. I have never been flabbergasted from a 2D Sonic game before, let alone a 2D Sonic fan game. Especially when I got to the third zone, Luminosity. I was floored. This is 100% the Sonic Mania successor that we've been wanting. Not just because it's a nice looking, nice animated 2D Sonic game, because it did what Sonic Mania did. It revolutionized 2D Sonic. It made 2D Sonic better by adding these new mechanics that give you even more freedom, and that's what classic Sonic needed, and that's what I think people were missing about Sonic Superstars. Even though I love the game, I have to admit it doesn't do anything crazy. This game does. Huge props to Star Team for making what is now my favorite 2D Sonic fan game. Y'all did an incredible job, and if y'all are watching this video, I wish you nothing but the best in your endeavors, and I hope that you find success in whatever you do. But that's really all I have to say for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down below, what did y'all think of the new demo of Sonic Galactic? For me, from someone who hasn't played the previous demos or like hasn't really interacted with this game before, I'm floored. I genuinely am floored. I thought it was just gonna be another like 2D Sonic fan game that just does whatever, you know, but this is a whole other level. It's like, I've said all of it before in the video. I'm just gonna be reiterating myself, but holy crap, man. Happy New Year, guys. Here's to another great year on YouTube. Hopefully we do much better than last year. I want to break through every freaking barrier that we've done. I want this year to be even greater than last. And why not start with a fan game video? I haven't done one in a while, so hopefully y'all enjoy this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications, comment down below. I'll see y'all in the next one.